Hello, it is time for an X confessional. I don't normally do video confessionals, but I want to try and do one today. Don't judge the look. It's a hoodie. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's all I have the energy for. I just want to talk about the game a little bit. It's been very chaotic. So I am on an interesting tribe, to say the least. I'm on the Laurelwood tribe. Love the little background that the production gave when they introduced it. The people on my tribe are me, obviously, Emilio, Anerno, Juju, Lacey, Nicole, and Waldo. I started off day one really feeling good with Emilio, and he even offered a duo alliance, which I was really excited for. Because I believe I said when I applied that I usually look for like one person or a group of people to kind of like ride the game with. Um, I always think you want to have a base to then work upon. Um, I know some people go the be good with a few people and then kind of flare up from there. I like to have a good supporting base, and that's at least get one ally that I'm good with. Um, so yeah, I felt really good with Emilio. Um, in the sense that like okay, I have someone. Me and Waldo were talking a good bit too, and it seemed like I was probably gonna go in that route. But I did have a few women on the tribe. I do like working with women in orgs. Personally, they bring good energy. I think they have a different way of looking at things. And guys tend to be a little too cocky. I think females usually can play that behind the scenes kind of route, and I like that. I like that a lot. um, but after just reading back on that Emilio conversation, it felt very rushed. It felt very forced. And I also he called himself Batman after seeing a Batman and Robin link, and at first I'm like, okay, that's a good thing. I can be the Robin, I can kind of let him do his thing, and I don't have to have too much of a threat on me. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, he's giving off the like try hard vibes, and the only reason I peg that is because I was the same way back in like 2020 when I was playing orgs. I spent my first few years in orgs, from 2017 to like 2019 ish. Early 2019 ish. Being super loyal, um, all about whoever I was working with, and I didn't go outside of that. Um, 20 Early 2019, I started playing how I felt Amelia was playing, throwing out final twos and just super excited to play the game to the point where like I was rushing my gameplay. Like I wasn't giving it time to like simmer and make a nice tea. I was throwing that fucking tea bag in hot water and expecting it to be done right then and there, and it was not good tea. So patience is a virtue sometimes, and and he had also been talking to me about the other actives. Like he said, we had inactives, and the quote unquote inactives were Nicole and Lacey. Which, to be fair, Nicole really wasn't speaking a lot, so I get that viewpoint. But he mentioned like the more active players, and so I went to. I was talking with Waldo, and I basically told Waldo, I was like straight up like I don't know how I feel about Emilio, because I was like it feels like he's trying too hard. Um, and I even told, and then after I was like, fuck it, I told Emilio too. I was like, Emilio, I was like, no offense, but like, you seem to be playing really social. And after the menu challenge was revealed to be what it was, us each having a privacy, and we can either reveal it or not. Um, he tried telling me, he's like, Emilio's like, oh yeah, I haven't really got anyone to tell me their answer, and to me, I'm like, okay, that's bullshit, because I personally know with how hard you've already talked to me that there's no way you're not doing that with other people. Um, so I went on a limb and I asked Juju, because Mr. fucking Amelia was like, I guess he freaked out or whatnot. I don't know. The dude's wild. And he's like, oh, I really want to have a four of me, you, Waldo, and Juju. Where the fuck did Juju come in? I was like, Juju? Didn't even know Juju was on the board, so I went to Juju. And I asked him straight up, I was like, has Emilio asked you to be a duo? And I told Juju, I was like, because he asked me. And Juju's like, yeah, he did ask me. I went to Waldo. Waldo had the same route. Because at first I thought it would go the route of me, Emilio, and Waldo being like a three. I thought that was kind of where the vibe was gonna go. Um, the Juju thing shook me. Um, and I went to Waldo and I told him, basically, I was like, I told him, I was like, so essentially Emilio has told us three each that he wants to be a duo with us, which is just a fancy way of saying final two. And it was such bullshit. Waldo didn't seem as concerned when I told him originally. And I'm saying originally now because there will be context later in this. He didn't seem too concerned about it at all. And I was updating Juju. I was like, hey, you know, we need to be concerned about this. Like he's doing too much. And then Juju wasn't concerned about it. And I'm like, okay, so clearly I'm a fourth wheel in this quote unquote alliance that's being pushed. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Strategically, that is dumb to just let that happen. So, and I also, again, like I said earlier, I wanted to work with women. So I ran to Nicole, I ran to Lacey, and basically explained the situation to them. I also explained it to Anerno and updated him because I knew I needed all three of them and me if we were going to do anything about it. And Anerno took it up really well. I think he appreciated that I brought it to him. I do think Anerno is going to want to play more behind the scenes, but I do think he respected me for at least bringing it up to him. Um, and now that Lacey and Nicole are more active, they seem to be really down for the four as well, which I did create a four-person chat, um, which is the alliance name is I See Dead People. Lacey is iconic for that, by the way. Loving the Lacey energy. Lacey's someone that I feel like could be a good ally, but I also feel like Lacey is also a wild card in just their whole personality. Like we both have ADHD, so I got to the us butting heads. Lacey also wants to play an under the radar game, which I'm not against, but I am I like to take reins of things in the sense that like I like to make sure I'm good. I like to keep up with things. I like to be a bit more proactive, um, and I don't think I'm in a bad spot where I can't be. But we'll get back to that more. Um, anyway, so I for the challenge again it was the prophecies. I decided to tell Lacey, Nicole, and Anerno, the people I wanted to work with to go combat the Juju, Waldo, and Emilio thing. I told them my real privacy, and I lied to the other three um, that I'm not. Anyway, it turns out Lacey told Waldo, I guess the quote, because Waldo came to me and was like, "Hey, you know, they're claiming they have the same one as you, and I know they're lying." And at first, I thought about acting shocked and be like, "Oh, how could they? Like, yeah, good thing you clipped that." But I took a moment and I was like, you know what? Like, it's for a challenge. Like, I don't want this one challenge to like ruin me socially or cause drama between other people because like I was trying to work, I was not trying to work with both, but I was trying to make sure I didn't cause any extra shit that could come back on me. So I was straight up honest with Waldo. I told him, no, I lied, and I gave him my reasons, the one of which is I'm a bit competitive. So that's my own, fatal flaw, I think, is truly where it's at, is if you want to talk Percy Jackson. And I was honest with him, and the second reason I told him, I was like, you and Juju didn't seem that concerned when I brought the fact that Emilio was like kind of trying to play all of us. And I was like, I didn't want you guys leaking my privacy to him and helping him in the challenge. And Waldo and me had a great conversation after that. I think he appreciated that I was honest with him about it. And I told him too, I was like, I didn't want to cause you and Lacey any issues. Like, I truly didn't. I think that would have been dumb for me I think it would have been dumb for me to do that. And I think it worked out really well in that sense. Waldo also told me, and I updated some of this in my confessional, but um, he also told me that Juju told him, and I think, and Emilio, or just him, I'm not sure, but basically brought up that I was pushing that Emilio and Waldo were a duo, and that was true. I did do that. I really was trying to work with Juju. I thought we could be really well together. I also was trying to help them because I felt like we were all being played. And I was honest to Waldo about that too. I was like, yeah, I did say that, and I gave him my reasons for that too. I said, I really was worried that you and Amelia were a duo. And I was trying to help. I was trying to help Juju. But I was straight up honest. And I think that was the best thing I could have done. because I know for a fact because I talked to Lacey about it too, and Lacey's like, yeah, I was playing dumb with him, but I was also gonna play dumb with you because like, I knew you were lying, to him, and I explained to Lacey, that I told him the truth. I was also honest with Lacey, and I'm glad it was because then she told me that, and that told me that that could have cost me issues with both. If I thought I was really that smart to be able to lie to these two people that were already comparing notes, it would have fucked me up. So I think being honest was the correct path, to the point where now me, Lacey, and Waldo want to work together and have an alliance chat. Um, I also am very pleased because I'm glad that Waldo isn't all about Emilio. Like that's such a huge breakthrough socially and strategically on this tribe for me, um, that I think it will work really well. Past that, it seems like the four-person alliance that I had originally created, which I did tell Waldo about. Again, I didn't want that to come back on me. Like I do want to build trust with Waldo, um, and we already went through what we did, so far, so I didn't want to create more cracks. So I was straight up honest, and I told him about the four-person alliance, which, by the way, they seem to be, at least Nicole essentially was wanting to do, she wanted to do Juju or Waldo. So me and Lacey, without like without being like, oh, we want to keep Waldo, basically was like, oh, we're fine with the Juju. And personally, I'm fine with Juju. Like I'm fine with Emilio or Juju. Like Juju is so fake. I'm done with them. I'm maybe being a little petty, but I'm over it. Like I'm over the Juju train. Um, so if Juju goes, I'm okay with that. Otherwise, I'm gonna do Emilio. I think we can get a Nerno to do. Um, I think we can get a Nerdo on board for that. Like I truly do because he seemed very down for it. And he said he was gonna kind of follow my lead. Um, so I would prefer Emilio, but it does not a real loss to me if Juju goes. Um, I'm not really working with Juju or Emilio, so either one going's good for me. I'd like to see the other one leave if we go back to tribal. And now we don't have to worry about idols because you have to have so much done to get an idol. That part's nice. But a factor we do have to worry about, people lying, but a big factor we need to worry about is people withholding their vote. Like, I highly considered withholding my vote. I'm immune this round, so this would be the perfect round to do it. And I'll go back and forth on that, but on a 7-person tribe, are we a 7-person tribe? Yeah, we're a 7. One, yeah, yeah, 7 people. Sorry, I had to do my math there. So, um, don't think I thought process there was 21 people in this cast. Um, but that's fine. It's whatever. Fuck math. Yeah, I was debating on withholding it, but a vote's a big thing to withhold. Um, but I would like to be able to do that. It's hard because like, do I want to like I could get that at any point really, because you also need to be able to vote in majority twice in a row. I don't know. I'll think about it. Um, but yeah, they wanna. That's where everything's going at the moment. I think I've handled the tribe really well. I think my reads have been good so far. I do think where my reads were wrong was where I assumed that Waldo and Emilio were together, because Waldo did tell me he's like X. I really wasn't all about Emilio. Like I actually trusted you more, and especially after everything you told me, and I had time to think about it. So I do think that was where my reads were kind of shitty, um, which is unfortunate. But it does seem like we have the chance to work together. So I am pleased with how things have gone so far. I also want immunity, which was huge, both for the beats and just to be safe. Like I do not want to be first boot. I think there's more to this 3 people leaving around. My personal aspect on it is I think 3 people leaving isn't 3 people leaving. I think it's either going to be like the Percy Jackson series. I think 3 people go on a quest. I think maybe one of them does, 1 or 2 don't come back. I think one person's definitely out. Whether it's 1 or 2, I'm not sure. But I think there's more to it than just that. Because I'm sorry, are we really gonna go down to 18 people after round 1? Like, if we do, that's crazy shit in an org. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a second. I think there's potential that someone comes back with something good. So that's scary. And it could just be me being the strategist that I am. I will say you guys will see me heavily rely on strategy more this in orgs than you will see me comp wise or social wise. I think social game leads credibility to be able to be strategic, and I'm definitely not going to ignore that aspect. But I enjoy the strategy aspect more. So if Hopefully I don't look too dumb after the season's over. But I think so far, outside what I said was an error on my part with the Waldo thing. I think so far I've been good. I definitely want to connect with people more. Nicole, I still don't feel like we've fully like connected well enough. Lacey, I feel good with in the sense that like we're definitely in two alliances, and we're ride or dies. I did offer her a final two. I think Lacey's gonna have connect. I think Lacey's gonna be that point to both me and Waldo. Like I think Lacey's gonna be good either way there. Um, so I don't know if I trust Lacey all the way to the end because just Lacey's giving the chaotic energy already. But we shall see. That said, that is all for now. It's a 15-16 minute confessional. I wanted to do a video confessional. It's been a while since I've done them, and yeah, it's been a crazy ride. We'll see what happens with Tribal. We'll see what I decide on if I'm gonna vote or not. I probably will just because I want to build trust. I think building trust right now is more important than trying to go for the idol. And I already have a very important bead. Now there are chances that we could lose beads in the future, so I don't want to put too much stock on them. But I already have one that my tribe does, that no one else in my tribe has, so I'm fine with that for now. I'm gonna try and get the vote in majority twice. We'll see, but that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the X confessional. I'll probably do a lot more audio confessionals, so you won't get to see this ugly mug as much moving forward, but that's it for now, and thanks for listening.